Please, 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 buy my home. Hello everybody, my name is Shell and welcome back to the Neighbors SMP. Now, in the last episode, we ended up making this lovely looking tavern right here. But since then, we've done a little bit of work. We've been doing some work while making that episode and also in between episodes. And one thing that I am really excited to show you guys is I ended up doing a little bit of map art for the tavern and I made a sign. Look at that. I think that looks super cool. Hanging down, it really helps kind of... what's the word? I don't know what the word is. It helps make it look like a tavern. And it's double-sided here. And of course, as you can see, we've named it the Jolly Toad. I just thought it was a silly, fun little name that I don't know, I think just kind of fit the vibes perfectly. And me and Jordan have also been doing a little bit of work here and there on this bridge. And of course, it's definitely not done. But we've been making some work on building this just to sort of connect our bases up a bit better. Again, like I say, there's still a bunch more work to be done on it. But we're just kind of getting all the pieces together to be able to connect our bases. And speaking of those little pieces, now that we've got this new building, you might be able to notice the town doesn't seem connected. And that's what we're going to do right now. Well, I've built up the pathway. I might have forgotten to start my flashback, so there was no time lapse, but I did end up building this all on stream, and I think it's turned out looking really cool. Of course, those chests aren't going to be staying there. I've just not been able to pack them up yet. But overall, I think that this has turned out looking super cool. This pathway over to here looks really good, and I also extended the path back here a little, and I think both of them have turned out looking super cool. But now, we need to do a little bit of work on the interior of here, because we've yet to do anything for it. And so, I'm going to start making some work on that, and I'm going to bring you guys along for the ride with me. Now, the first thing that I want to do is add in another pillar here. We're just going to put a crafting table in here temporarily, because this section through here I want to be like the tavern kitchen. However, to be fair, I might just move this another block that way, so we have room to sort of put stuff against that wall. So then we're going to add in that countertop there with some signs going across, and then some trapdoors along the top of there. And finally we put in the wall around here with the appropriate texturing. And last of all, we add a little door just like that. And that sort of separated off the kitchen area. So in here, I think the first thing that I want is like a little bit of a sink here. So we're just going to use these spruce stairs and we can actually put water in there. And just like that, we've got a sink that does actually work as an infinite water source, which is very useful. Then I'm just going to add a couple of these beehives around to look like countertops, as well as this brewing stand with these cabinets on top of there. And I think we might just swap that beehive out for the crafting table, just so we have an easy to access crafting table here. And we're also going to add that support beam there. And we can make some smokers to put over here. I actually think that these might work better without them there. And maybe they have these supporting them instead. I think that looks a lot better. And we can add this little roof in here that I think makes it look nice. And finally, with these trapdoors, as well as this composter, and some azalea leaves to make that into a plant, I think that this kitchen is looking really nice. And we can also make a bit of carpeting for the floor. Now, one way that I really like to do this is by swapping the floor out for green wool, then using green carpets to sort of add some 3D to that. And we can also add this little tripwire hook to sort of look like a tap above the sink. And apart from a couple decorational pieces, I think that the kitchen is looking very cool. Or actually first, how do fences look here? Okay, I think that the fences look kind of cool. So the next thing that I want to do is make a little bar for the tavern. You know, what's a tavern without a bar? Sorry if you can hear explosions. LJ's just exploding some trees over there in the background. So we're going to bring this counter along this way, and I kind of just want to bring it up to there to be able to line up with that pillar. And then we want to bring, I think, something like this would work best, coming over the top. Yeah, I think that could work. And then here we can just have a trap door, I think, to separate this. How does that work? Yeah, I think that's good. And then, yeah, we can add this roof in here to the top of the bar. And that also kind of gives us like a little bit of shelf space up there, which we can use to just add that extra bit of detailing. And flower pots can make what looks like cups or mugs on the side of the bar. And we'll add a little spot here in front of the window that can maybe be for some more decorational stuff. And then what we want to do is get some scaffolding. And what we can do here is we can use like scaffolding and barrels with a tripwire hook to sort of look like beer kegs, which I think is super cool. And an effect that I really love to do with stuff like this is if you put a honey block here, then it kind of looks like one of them has maybe spilled or something, maybe dripped a bit of honey on the floor, which can look really cool. And so we can add a couple more barrels and shelves around with maybe a brewing stand or two. And maybe it could look cool if we actually had a row of spruce trapdoors coming under here. Yeah, I think that might look nice. And I think when we get more of the decorational pieces to add onto there, it's really going to pull it all together. Although I'm kind of not happy with how this side is looking, so what I think I'm going to do with it is lower this whole bit down to here. And then we can put a door in that spot. Just like so. Yeah, I think that works. And I nearly forgot, we want to add just a couple bits and pieces up around on top of here. Make it look cluttered. This is supposed to be for various bits of storage. Maybe we can add some cobwebs up there later or something. But I think we're making a good start on this. I also think a couple of the composters with the leaves again can really help bring this together a bit more. Especially just in sort of corners and stuff and empty space that's not really being used. So next what I want to start doing is making some stairs going up this way. And this is going to make it so we can actually get up onto the second floor. And then we've kind of got to decide how big we want this section to be. But I'm going to try building it out first. Yeah, I think maybe just a little bit more out. And then this is fine. And then we can have these bits coming up to be the structural supports. And then I want to use these dark oak stairs as railings. I think that that maybe works. Although I'm not sure if the dark oak looks a bit out of place. Maybe just using spruce would be better. You know what? I think the spruce maybe does work. I'm not fully sure about that. Maybe the stairs actually could work better. Alright, I've built them up with stairs now, and I think it is looking a lot cooler with the stairs. I think this whole thing just kind of looks that bit cooler. So what I actually want to do is connect these up by slabs. Yeah, that works. And then we can use these to add some railing. Yeah, I think that works. And then we want to connect this second floor up and over to that door over there so we can reach the balcony. And then we just need to connect these bits up with the supports. Okay, yeah, I think that works. And then we connect these up with our spruce slabs. So next thing that we've got to do is start making some tables. So I'm going to turn that into a time lapse and I'll see you guys in a second. So now we have all the tables in, and I've also got this carpet going around the whole building. And I also put this little stage in the back here. I don't know, I thought it might be cool. You know, maybe they could have, like, I don't know, a bard come in and perform or whatever. And we've also done a lot of this upstairs area, and I think it's all looking super nice. I added this little area in the back with these seats that kind of look like those couch seats you sometimes get in the back of a tavern. And I also used a little trick back here to get the trapdoors in the same spot as each other. Now, this is actually an armor stand with the trapdoor on its head that looks super cool. And that was a little trick that I learned from Peach. However, there are still a couple pieces that I want to do. And first of all is the roofing. I just want to add like these beams going across. I think that this should look good. And then we can add a couple lanterns hanging from bits of the roof. Now the next thing is that some of these walls are looking quite bland, quite boring and quite plain. And so for that, what we can do is craft a bunch of spruce trap doors and also all these paintings. And we're going to use these to make shelves and paintings to add more decoration. And now with all these shelf decorations, the tavern is starting to look super cool. Now there is some last bits of decoration that I want to add, but these are a bit harder to get. See, on the server we have a mod that allows us to get player heads, which means with customizable heads, we can get some really cool decorations. But to acquire them, it does mean dying a whole lot. So I think let's start a death compilation. Hit it. Have a tavern full of stuff. Look how cool this is all looking. I think this is insane. This looks so cool. Just sort of using FreeCam to fly around. Everything looks really cool. And having all these heads here helps to make it look really busy and bustling. Suddenly this tavern really feels alive. And apart from some other little touches, and something cool I'm planning to do in a later episode, I think that the tavern is complete, and it has turned out amazing. So, with that completed, I'm now going to head over to meet up with Jess, because we are going to be planning a little project together.
Hello!
Hello.
It's a shell.
It's a shell.
On the stream.
Will you?
Oh.
I've never been on a
Good.
stream before.
A twirl. Alright, let's go.
So, welcome to the medieval village.
Oh, look at this.
Town.
Look at this. Look at this lighting. Look at this
This
beauty.
is my base right here. With my animals. Over just there. And then we just
Very
have,
nice.
you know, a couple street villagers. LJ's joined. Just ignore her if she comes to talk to us. This is the butchers here.
Oh,
Don't
wow.
look inside though, just believe me. Yeah, I don't know what to say. So far it is just a lot of houses.
But you have plans, sounds like.
Yeah.
What's
I
that
don't
red
know.
house? Why is it red?
It's just a different colour.
There's no importance.
I mean, it could be important.
It could be.
It could be important
Eventually.
someday.
It's just red, but it's not.
And then
It's not a building I
The
might
thing I've
use.
been working on is the tavern.
Oh yes, I've
This
heard
is a
about
big,
this.
important build. And look,
Oh, I love that. That is awesome.
I
The
did a
Jolly
little bit
Toad,
of
the
map art.
classic like weird tavern name, you know?
yeah, this was actually a lot of work. If it's 4 maps.
Yeah, that sounds like pain. Honestly,
It was
I
painful.
really want to do more map art too.
Yeah, Peach has like a glass platform in the end. It was super helpful.
Look at that. Is this player heads?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Some brews.
Don't check the chat logs. There were a lot of deaths.
I think I did see those.
Do you want to know how many I'm at?
It's an apple. I'm gonna guess 55. No,
Higher.
127.
Higher.
300.
A little lower. 280.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm kind of a pro.
I didn't even know that was possible.
Do you want to come explode something?
Okay. Oh, that sounds
LJ
awesome, Nick.
LJ's already exploding stuff. Damn it. Oh, Jordan's online. All the medieval neighbours. So, me and Jess have got the materials together, and we're going to start work on building this shop. He's going to be building the statue for it, and I'm going to be building the tree. So, let's get that time-lapse music playing, and let's go. So here it is. I'm pretty much think I'm done with the tree, and Jess is just finishing working on the statue. And when they're both done, this is going to look super cool. I can't wait to open this shop up with Jess. However, that probably will have to wait until next episode, because this is all the time we have for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like on the video, subscribe if you want to see more, leave a comment letting me know what you thought and what I could do next. Thank you for taking the time to watch my video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.